Hello everyone, how's it going? Elliot here again. In today's video, we are going to be building a metal backlit Game Boy Color. So this kit was very kindly sent to me by Nick over at boxypixel.com. I'll leave all of the links to all of the parts used in the description below. But yeah, this is a metal Game Boy. Now, unfortunately, I've just managed to break the screen because of some pressure that I put on it, which was a bit silly, but I'll order another one of those, and I've already done all of the filming for this, so we should be okay. But yeah, this turned out absolutely incredibly. Most of the work is done on the PCB. It's not too difficult to do, but it is a little bit tricky and can take quite a lot of time. You're going to need a screen lens. I use bluish squirrels, glass Game Boy Light lenses. The bezel's actually a little bit thicker than a regular Game Boy Color one, therefore you're not going to get any border showing around the screen. You're also going to need a soldering iron, some kapton tape, some little wire cutters, some wires, and general other things such as tri-wings and microfiber cloths, bits and bobs like that. So the first thing we're going to do is take apart our normal Game Boy Color. And what we need to take out of that is the buttons, the silicone pads, the infrared cover, the power switch, and the PCB, but everything else pretty much can just be set to one side and saved for a future project or a refurb or whatever. Now that we've done that, it's time to quickly test the Chinese ribbon cable. Now you can either use the Chinese ribbon cable or the Ben Ven one. I would definitely recommend the Ben Ven one. I do believe he's taking pre-orders for his newer one now, so if you're going to get one of those, I'd recommend getting one soon because they're probably going to go out of sale quite quick. Although if you can't get one of those, the Chinese one does work. However, with the Chinese one, you have a little PCB which is actually quite thick because of the two port connectors for the ribbons. So it's quite difficult, but it does work. So the first bit of work we need to do to this board is removing the pins that stick out from the back of the cartridge slot and also the ones around the connector for the link port. So just do that with some flush cutters, and then afterwards we're going to cover that all with some kapton tape. Before you do that, you might want to sand the pins down because otherwise they'll puncture through the kapton tape and you might end up shorting something. Next up, we need to remove the battery contacts. This isn't too difficult. Maybe just use some gloves and pull from the underside whilst heating up the pad. We're also going to need to remove the LED. This is very, very simple. Just use your nail to wiggle off the LED whilst you heat the solder pads from behind. Now that you've done that, it's pretty much time to cover the entire board in kapton tape. The AGS 101 screen, the back of that is metal. In a lot of the AGS 101 mods you have to do, there's a lot of cutting work you have to do to the switches and the screw mounts and everything, but this housing that Boxy Pixel has made is basically just drop everything in. The only work you need to do is to the PCB. You'll need to solder two wires to the back of the battery contacts, which we just removed. Now this is going to be for the rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Now this battery charges using a micro USB charger, and there's a little red light when you plug it in. If you don't have any batteries with you, then you can just use a portable power bank and charge your Game Boy Color on the go. As you can see here, the wires go in a respective place, and you'll need to make sure that they look exactly like mine, otherwise this will not work. Now we can pretty much start assembling things back together. You need to be really, really careful when doing this that you don't scratch the front of the shell, which is something that I managed to do. Just lay a microfiber cloth down on the table and you should be absolutely fine. You will need to do a little bit of work cutting the power slider switch. Nick fortunately provided me one, but I ended up actually breaking that one, so I did have to cut mine down a little bit as well. Now you can set the back of the housing down and screw the whole thing together. Ultimately, I ended up removing the Velcro strap which holds the battery in. That's just because I'm using the Chinese ribbon cable, so there's already a little bit of extra mass pushing up against the front of the board. So I just removed that just to have a little bit more room, and it seems to work and hold absolutely fine. After that, of course, we can now set down the glass screen, which is absolutely the most satisfying part of the build. And you can also optionally put the sticker that's included from Bluish Squirrel on the back, which is what I opted to do. Now, included in the kit was a metal Game Boy cartridge, which is really, really cool. And if you can't buy all of the other bits to make yourself a metal Game Boy Color, you can definitely pick up one of the little metal Game Boy cartridges. They're super inexpensive. I'm not sure how many there are, so get them while you can. And that's it. You now have yourself a gorgeous, gorgeous metal Game Boy Color Lite. Playing this thing is absolutely superb. The weight of it, the feel of it, the shine of it, it all feels and looks absolutely incredible. And to be honest with you, it's a brand new Game Boy experience that I've never had before. It revives all of the games that I've played and makes me want to play them all again. To be able to hold one of these in your hands is truly, truly an honor. I'm really looking forward to getting my new AGS 101 screen in the post so that I can play this again as soon as possible. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is definitely something super, super unique and awesome that we're going to be looking at on the channel, and we're going to have a couple more videos of this down the line. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.